You have to bear with me. I think this is like take number 50. I'm so spacey today. I was waiting for ages for a bookcase to come. It arrived, and then it's like a Chinese puzzle. Finally got it sorted out because it's like one of those bookcase trees where it goes like that. So there's quite a lot of swearing going on. So I think I've used up my quota of swear words for today. Kind of got it done, but I'm just knackered now. Hence, just the hand video. Couldn't be bothered um, make myself look presentable because I am really tired. And I've got a busy day tomorrow. So I've got to do this video because I want to talk about it while it's fresh in my brain. So this is my most anticipated book of the year, in fact, of the past few years. It's by my favourite mangaka, my favourite comics creator, full stop, Naoki Urasawa. And it's co-authored by Takashi Nagasaki as well. And it is Billy Bat. Now, this has been out in other countries for quite a while now. It came out originally in I don't know if you can see 2009. So it's taken a long time for there to be an English translation. It's produced by Kana, so it's a nice compact size, and it's cheaper than buying two Marvel number ones. A Marvel number one costs you $5.99. This is just $9.99. You get 200 pages. The paper is of a really high quality, and it has a cover. Yeah, so unlike a lot of like Viz Manga and other manga companies, Kana do their manga with covers. So you get this really nice cover, and then you get this really stylish interior cover. So it gives a synopsis on here. It says, a bat actor, Japanese-American Kevin Yamagata is a talented artist whose best-selling character is a quick-witted detective named Billy Bat. When Kevin finds out that he may have accidentally plagiarized this character, he's soon wrapped up in conspiracies, murder, and a mystery as old as time itself. So what I love about this is it starts off the first 25 or 30 pages or so are the comic strip what the character Kevin has created, so Billy Bat. So it's this anthropomorphic character. He's a private detective. He's a bat, hence the name. And all these pages of the comic are in full color. And again, this just shows how versatile Naoki is in his art style. How he can do funny animal characters as well, but you can still tell it's his art style. This was a bit glaring before, so I'll just move it back so you can see it better now. So as you can see, really nice color art. So you get a good chunk of this fictionalized comic strip what Kevin, our character, creates, and I like how it suddenly bleeds into him doing the story, and it basically does a real clunky ending for the story, and it's really dissatisfied, and he's just like, oh, this is crap. And then these detectives come, but basically just kind of like barge the way into his flat, and they say they want to use his room, his landlord, so they can use his room to observe the house across the way. And one of the detectives notices the artwork that he's doing, and said, oh, wow, so you're that character. One's a big fan of Billy Bat because it's really taken off. This is set like in the late 1940s, early 50s. And the other one goes, he looks familiar. I was stationed in Japan a few years ago, and I'm sure I saw that character there. So Kevin now is having like this real crisis of conscience. He's thinking, oh, that's no good. I thought it was original. And then he thinks, maybe I did subliminally pick up, because like he said, he's half Japanese, half American. He wondered if he subliminally picked it up when the war was on, and he was working over there in America, in Japan, as a translator. So it now flashes forward. It now flashes over towards Japan, and just look at the artwork here and the layout. And so now he's come over to Japan, and he said, "Yeah, no problem. And he meets one of his old friends who's stationed there, and he said, "Yeah, it's great to see you, but he said, if you're over here in Japan, you've got to work as an interpreter again. So that, and you get a uniform. You get the uniform as well. It means you can basically go around and do whatever you want to. You said you want to find out about this, how your character has, how it's been seen in Japan." And so he's asking around. This little boy says, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." This little boy says, "Wow, you're a comic artist," and says, "Yeah, I've seen that before." And it turns out there's this guy who's got a tattoo of the bats on his thing. And I don't want to give too much away, but then, as you can see here, they find this image in an old scroll as well. And then he flashes back as a drink with his mates, and he says, "That's the bats. How I saw it like graffitied on the wall." So things happen, and I don't want to give a lot away, but things take a turn much more for the worse, and he comes into a hell of a lot of trouble just as he's thinking the mystery is getting solved. And this guy comes to help him, but again, is he all who he says he is? And so this guy helps him out. Because he helps him out, he's kind of like got him over a barrel now, because he knows what he's allegedly done. And so this mystery starts. And what I love about Naoki's art and also his storylines, he gets like about 6 or 7 different plot threads starting from the get-go, and they all come together seamlessly. He's such a master storyteller. Honestly, for me, he's even more satisfying than say like an Alan Moore or anybody of that caliber. He's just he is the all-time great in my eyes. And so he basically kind of gets befriended by this wants a better word, this coal girl. And so this starts another plot development. And again, he asks, and the girl says, "Oh yeah, we know about the bats," and it's they kind of like treat it like this lucky charm where they ask for it to protect them, and it's stenciled on this overpass, on this wall on this overpass. And then he flashes back to when he was stationed in Japan, and he remembers that's exactly where he saw the bat. And so his dreams, reality and his dreams kind of get blurred together. So Billy the Bat starts talking to him in his dreams, and he comes to. And like I said, he's had a real nightmare scenario, and I don't want to ruin it because you really do need to read it. But things are getting really hazy because people are basically saying, "Oh no, that didn't happen. Don't worry, that didn't happen," and he knows it did. And he just wonders what the hell is going on. And like I said, his life is getting overtaken by this image of this bat. And so, through lots of talks to different people and whatnot, he ends up meeting this old mangaka, this old manga creator, and he's basically in his flat. It's almost like very dreamlike how it shifts from scene to scene. And then this other character here who's like this high-powered banker politician kind of character, and a mystery happens to him. But meanwhile, they go back to the mangaka where he was staying at, and he sees the bats. It's the same Billy Bats. So he's thinking, "Oh hell, I did steal it." So he's having a real crisis of conscience. But the mangaka's really cool about it, saying, and he does this sketch of a cup, and he says, he said, "When you learn to draw, how do you learn to draw?" I said, "From how somebody else drew it." He said, "Yeah." "And how do they learn to draw?" "From how somebody else drew it," and so on and so on and so on. It goes back and back and back. He says nothing is original. He said, "Don't worry about it." So he's a really cool old man. But then it takes another strange turn. And he says, "Was it a white bat or a black bat that you saw?" And he goes, "What do you mean?" And it doesn't really get answered. But he comes to, and the mangaka's disappeared, and there's a message saying, "Take this manuscript and run for your life." And he's looking, and this in this pamphlet already is this comic strip that mangaka's been illustrating, and it's kind of like predicting what's going to happen. And there's a really cool thing here that does happen. And like I said, it suddenly goes into like this hard-boiled noir mystery with almost like not supernatural elements, but it's hard to describe, but not even eerie, but heightened reality, I think is the only way I could describe it. This heightened reality mystery. And it's just fucking fantastic. I've gone past 10 minutes. I'm going to swear now. It's fucking fantastic. And he basically gets blamed for another murder. And it's this guy who was serving him a meal earlier on, saying that he did it, and he was nowhere near. But so there's this huge conspiracy. He's being framed for a lot of things, and it's like the classic old 1940s Humphrey Bogart type things, where you suddenly go on the lam, you go on the run. And so, like I said, his world is just getting worse and worse, and there's this huge conspiracy what's getting even more convoluted, and nobody is who they seem to be, especially this guy here. And so it switches to Billy Bats again. And like I said, the comic strip is kind of like predicting what's going to happen.
According to Wikipedia, Moscow is the capital.
Alexa, stop! I don't know why that happened, but there we go. Little guest appearance by Alexa. We're having couples counselling at the moment. I've lost my train of thought now. Yeah, I've fucking lost it now. So yeah, the whole rug has been pulled out from under him. And yeah, there's a lot of shady characters. People are not who they appear to be. I guess the only one who might be genuine is the old mangaka, and he's disappeared. And he bumps into this girl again, and there's a nice scene with that. Whoa, I can't really show that. And then it ends on a really, really amazing cliffhanger. It just tilts the whole thing again to an even bigger mystery. And this is why I love Naoki Urasawa so much. He does this with all his books. What starts off quite mundane suddenly gets propelled into another area, then it gets propelled again and again. And it's just, oh my God, it was just wonderful. I devoured this book. As soon as I opened up the first page, I was lost. I was in this world. It's a perfect 10. I've got to wait now till September for the next volume. I've sung Naoki Urasawa's praises a lot. 20th Century Boys is my favourite graphic story of any kind of all time. I highly recommend that. Highly recommend Asadora. Pluto is amazing. It's reimagination of the story of Astro Boy as almost like a Blade Runner-esque noirish mystery. Then you've got Master Keaton, which is kind of like an Indiana Jones kind of story. You've got Monster, which I've not got yet, and I need to get, because when it was locked down, it became very, very scarce. I really do need to get that as well. He's just done so many amazing works. His short story works are great as well. But this is up there with one of his all-time greats, and it's the first book. I think there's about 15 to 16 volumes so far. It was amazing. Even if you don't buy manga, it's only going to cost you $9.99. And you will not be disappointed. You will thank me for it if you buy it. I highly recommend this. This is my pick of the year so far of any graphic novel, any comic series I have bought this year. So it comes from my highest recommendation. And I'm so pleased it's finally in my sweaty little palms. Okay, bye.